IEW Writing Companion is something new from IEW that they've created for their writing courses. And you will be able to purchase this when you get in and look for all of your classes. There will be an option to purchase the IEW Companion, or you can get free access. If you go to the bottom of this page, you can go to the Writing Across the Curriculum and you can choose Adventures, Ancient History. It gives all of the different books, the curriculum that IEW has, and you can kind of take a look at that depending on what your student is taking. You also have the option for the structure and style. So these are the recorded courses that IEW has. So you can use this literally with anything that IEW is offering. And your student can go through and check all of their assignments. And it might take away some of those headaches for you and some of those battles that you have when you're doing writing with your student. When you're on the IEW homepage, you'll see up at the top here, you can do a search, you can do contact us, and typically right here, you would probably see log in. Now, I'm already logged in as myself, so if I click on that, I can either go to my dashboard where everything that I ever have downloaded or bought or anything like that with IEW I can get to. I have the free, try it out version of the IEW Writing Companion, so that pops up as well. And obviously I can log out. So one of the ways to get to the IEW Writing Companion is straight from the drop-down menu when you click on your name if you're already signed in. If you're not already signed in, it will prompt you to log in and it'll take you directly to your dashboard. When you're at your dashboard, you'll see your name and your username and all of that kind of stuff. Over here is all of the stuff that you've bought that you can locate very easily. Now I'm going to click on IEW Writing Companion and it's going to load that up for me. It might take a second, but I have two profiles here, one for myself and one for my son. Both of them are the free version. I'm just kind of trying this out right now, and I really loved it and really think it would be beneficial for those of you who might be new to the method or have a child that you want them to be a little bit more independent before they turn in their work. Now, I'm just going to click on myself here. And when I do that, you'll see which program you already have access to. Okay, so I've already kind of looked at lesson 2, and that's up here. So one of the things that you'll do first is add a checklist. You have to do that first. It won't let you click anywhere down here. Notice that my arrow is a continuous arrow. It doesn't turn into a hand. I have to do the checklist first. So when I click on that, I'm going to click on Fables Lesson 4, The Milkmaid and Her Pail. Now, I can go and change it if I need to. This will disappear once you purchase, once you decide to purchase the Writing Companion. Now, I'm going to add a new document. I can upload something from my computer, like a Word document, or I can upload something from my Google Drive. I don't like doing all that stuff. It just can get a little complicated. So what I like to do is add a new document and I copy and paste from whatever document that I have. So when I do that, I'm going to enter a name and I don't know, Milkmaid, maybe I'll type that in, or you can type in lesson 4, whatever works for you. When I do that, it's going to go ahead and create the document for me and it'll pop right up. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do before I take you through any of this is just copy and paste what I've already written somewhere else. Now, this is the very, very beginning stages of IEW. Let me get Grammarly out of here because I don't want that. Turn off. Grammarly is so annoying sometimes. I don't like it. Okay, so anyway, so I have my name and my date. Now, this is Fables, Myths, and Fairy Tales, so I don't have to put a header up here. But if you do need one for your class, make sure you put the header up here for your MLA format. And make sure your date is correct for MLA format, okay? All right, so because this is the very beginning, the only word I have underlined is this ly adverb here. So you'll notice like nothing else is labeled if you're used to all that labeling so far. So on the left-hand side here, you'll see that the checklist is already uploaded. Whatever is in the book That's what's here. So you check over here and it just kind of puts it side by side for you, which is extremely convenient when you're trying to turn in an assignment and make sure that you have everything. So let's see. Did I put my name and date in my upper left-hand corner? Yes, I did. Did I double space it? Yes, I did. Did I center my title? Yes, I did. Did I complete everything? Make sure you did that, and then you would click that you did. Now, when you go here for the dress ups, notice it picked up the word dutifully because I already put that in there and underlined it. So it already shows that I did that, so I can click that right here. If I want to know what that is, it tells me what the adverb is so that if I forgot or you need a little bit more instruction, you can do that. You can go down here to a word list and it gives you a nice word list that you can choose from, which is great because we don't often carry around ly adverbs in our brain, right? That's why in my courses, I always say, or I've started this year, to tell you to purchase those portable walls because it has those nice, convenient word lists in it without having to use the IEW companion if you don't want to. And then you can check for capitalization and marks punctuation. Make sure everything is complete. Now, after I've, gone through this myself, I can check all this stuff off myself. Or I can go down here to the guided review and it'll take me through the checklist on my own. So you can look at your one paragraph composition and check the following. Does each paragraph begin with one tab? Yes. Does each paragraph end with one red mark? This is a paragraph mark. Yes, it does. There are no extra red in your paragraph. Look at that. I have extra ones. So I'm going to backspace those and get those out of there. Then I can say, I have done this. It says I have too many paragraphs, but I don't. Now I want to read my one paragraph composition to make sure my sentences are complete and grammatically correct and that I don't have any misspelled words. And this is really where your editor still needs to do some work here. Make sure everything is spelled correctly. When you have it in here, you can also, let's maybe take the word dream and I'll spell it wrong. Okay. So this red squiggly line will come up. And if I, it'll tell me that it's spelled wrong. You might need your editor to come in here and tell you how to spell it. But IEW will let you know that it's spelled wrong. And then you can say, I have done this. Then it's going to tell you to select your name. Okay. So you're going to want to, it says here, select your text and then click the check mark. Okay. So I'm going to go over here to my name and I'm going to highlight it. Notice that this check mark came in. I'm going to confirm my selection. And now it highlights it in blue, saying that I did this and I can go to next. Then I'm going to do the same thing with my date. I'm going to highlight my date and put a check mark, and it tells me over here what my formatting is. I have my standard formatting, which is just fine for a beginner course. But once you get up onto those middle school classes, level B, you're going to want to make sure you have this formatting for MLA, which is the number first, then the month, and then the year. So for Fables, Myths, and Fairy Tales, I'm good. And it highlights it in blue. I did my check mark, and then I can click next. Did I center my title? Let's look. See if I did that. Did I center my title? Yes, I did. Notice up here, it's centered. Okay. If I did not center my title, it's going to be over here, or maybe I hit the space bar and, tried to do that. And that is not correct. You want to make sure it's center aligned. Okay. Notice how there's all these spaces. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go back over here all the way to the beginning. Whoops. And I'm going to make sure that it's centered. I want my alignment to be centered. So I'm going to highlight my title and hit the check mark. Then I'm going to go to next. Does my title repeat 1 to 3 keywords from my final sentence? Select the words in your final sentence that you use to write your title. Okay? So my title is Crushed Dream. Maybe I should say Crushed Dreams, right? So I have the word dreams. check, crushed, check. Now, for the title rule, you don't have to have all the words in your title, do not all have to be in your clincher. You can have other words in your title, like I could say her crushed dreams, but those are all in there. um, you can have more words in your title that are not in your clincher, but you have to have at least 1 to 3 keywords from your final sentence exactly how they are in your clincher. The title has to repeat that. So this is really great because you have a title rule and you have a topic clincher rule. So sometimes people get a little confused with that one. And so the IEW companion is great because it tells you what the rule is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click next because I did that. Now, do I have an ly adverb? An ly adverb, it tells me what it is. Okay? So I'm going to select my text and I'm going to click the check mark that I did do my ly adverb and I underlined it. Okay, remember you have to identify it. You have to make sure it's underlined. And then when I'm done, I can confirm my markings and everything's all set. It highlighted everything for me that I needed. I can reconfirm my markings. I can download it as a Word document, a PDF in my Google Drive or print. But if everything's all set, I can copy and paste it into a Google document, whatever works for you. It should be good to go. Once you get up into more of the lessons, like you're further down the line with the lessons, or you have a more difficult curriculum with IEW, you might want to access the thesaurus, excuse me. So eventually, when we get down the line with the program, there are words that we ban for adjectives. There are words that we ban for verbs. And you can click on each one of these and get a list of some more strong verbs. And it depends on what you're trying to say. So you can keep a static list of strong verbs or quality adjectives, but sometimes they might not always work for the sentence that your student is trying to write. So it's really important that you help them pick words that actually match what they're doing, not just words that you can check off on the checklist. So it's nice that, there are these words that you can use. You can go back to these word lists. You can pick out, these ly adverbs. You can go to see all, and it's all alphabetically listed for you. So it's a great resource. It's just literally right there. And you can maybe she, sorrowfully began to sob, I don't know, or regretfully, mournfully, lamentably, began to sob. Just because you have one ly adverb in here and it's underlined doesn't mean you can't add more, right? We want to add as much detail to our paragraphs as possible. We just only underline one of them. So you can use more if you would like. Okay. So it's just a great way to just kind of put everything side by side in the document right here. You've got your checklist over here. It's $10 per student per year. I've got my son in there and he's definitely going to be using this because I know that if you've taken IEW classes before, how hard it can be to just go through the checklist. Please just go through the checklist, just check it off, right? And don't forget to turn in your checklist when you're done and make sure you're doing them in your book as well, okay? All right, so this was just a little overview of the IEW checklist. I hope this was really helpful. And let me know if you need anything.